Hello again, Pat Clancy here, author of the book Avoid Tenants from Hell While Maximising Profits and Increasing Your Wealth. This is principle 5 of the book, titled Tenant References. I can't stress enough to always check tenant references. The amount of times that they're not checked by the agent is incredible. Even though they might get written references, a lot of the time they don't speak with previous landlords, and even the previous landlord before that again. It's vital that this is done. This is the most important part of finding good tenants, and it's often overlooked. A lot of times, even if the tenant does produce written references, they go and check by the agent or the landlord. This cannot happen. You would be surprised the amount of landlords that would tell you how bad the tenants were. Or a lot of landlords, to be fair, are truthfully honest, and they'll tell you whether it's a good tenant or not. You need to know the tenant that's going into the property to make sure they're not a tenant from hell. This is where your people skills come into play as well. The odd time landlords can give tenant references just to get them out of the property. That's why it's vital to speak to the landlord maybe before the landlord that they've currently had. It's vital that you talk to their landlord and ask him a few questions about the tenant. Have a list of questions prepared regarding the condition of the property, the payments of the rent, or they paid into the bank account, did they pick them up by cash? All these questions, and I've asked the tenants the questions as well, so you can check one answers with the other. If the answers don't concur, then obviously one of them is lying, and you're better off walking away from that tenant. When getting a reference from the work, try and ensure they get it on company headed paper. There's less chance of the references being forged. They do get forged from time to time, very, very rarely, but it does happen. But make sure again, ring the person's place of work, talk to their manager or HR department, and make sure that they are who they say they are. So the bullet points there: make sure you speak to the previous landlords. It's vital that work references are checked. Have a list of questions for the landlord and tenant if you feel there's something up and the answers are not the same. Just walk away and be 100% sure before making the decision. So the 7 steps then to checking of references. Again, there is a bit of repetition in this, but I can't hammer home how vital it is to check landlord references. So make sure you speak with the tenant references. Make sure you speak with the previous landlord, 2 previous landlords if possible. Speak with their current employers. Check the house they're currently living in. You can always pick the references up from that house and have a quick look around. You'll know what kind of tenants they are by the way they live. Ask the tenants questions about current accommodation. Ask their landlords the same questions, again verifying the answers. Number 6, are there work references on headed paper? Again, so they're not forged. Be sure to check them, and then make an informed decision. When you have all the information, make an informed decision about the tenant. A case study here was a friend of mine, Tony. He's in the property game a long time, was renting out a property one time, and he told me an interesting story. After showing the property a number of times to different tenants, he picked out 3 tenants who had very good references, good jobs, and kept their last house in excellent condition. On the day the tenants were due to move in, it was a 5-bed house, so they actually they came to Tony and they said, look, there's 2 more of our friends would like to move in today as well. They all, they have money, there's no problem at all. Tony didn't check the references because he had checked the references of the other 2 or the other 3, and he felt they were fine, no problem at all. He was very happy with them. The result was that the 2 new tenants that moved in that that weren't checked upset the other tenants. They had parties all night long, upset a load of neighbours. Tony, my friend, was getting called from the neighbours. They were threatening the neighbours. When he approached the tenants, they threatened him, and they would not leave the house. He eventually got him out of the house after about 3 weeks. He just had to give him back their deposit and again some rent with it. And again, the house needed a lot of money to bring it back up to the standard again to rent it out. But he did check the first 3 tenants, but the last 2 he didn't, because he felt that because the first 3 were so good that their friends would be good as well. But never make this assumption. Make sure every tenant reference is checked going into the property. Again, it was an expensive lesson learned, something that could have been avoided. So make sure that always check the references. Again, it's vital. It is the key to unlocking great tenants, by checking the references. The amount of times it's overlooked amazes me, but it is vital to the to getting the right tenant. So again, if there's questions, please email me, pat@redfords.ie, or even if you're looking for a consultation for your own house, what you need to do, put that in the email as well and I'll respond. And you can check out the website on www.redfords.ie. Thank you.